When I asked the alien warrior why she picked me, her words left me speechless. Unexpected captivity. The first thing Marcus Chen noticed was the cold, not the biting winter chill he was used to on Earth's orbital stations, but a clinical, calculated temperature that suggested someone had optimized it for preserving specimens. Specimens like him, apparently. The second thing he noticed was the absence of gravity boots. Or walls. Or anything remotely human in design. Oh fantastic, he groaned, trying to sit up from what felt like a medical birth made of solidified light. Either I'm having the worst hangover of my life, or I've been abducted by interior designers from the future. The room pulsed with a soft amber glow, walls curved seamlessly like the inside of an egg. No visible doors, no windows, just smooth surfaces that shimmered when he looked at them too long. He touched his uniform, finding the familiar navy blue fabric reassuringly intact, though his communicator was missing. "Hello?" he called out, his voice echoing strangely. "Room service? I'd like to order a ride home and maybe an explanation for the impromptu space vacation." "Your attempts at humor are noted and deemed inefficient," a voice replied from everywhere and nowhere at once. It was feminine but metallic, with an accent that reminded Marcus of the translation programs they used at the communications array. "Great, I've been abducted by a judgmental smart home," Marcus muttered, swinging his legs over the edge of the glowing slab. "Let me guess, you're going to tell me resistance is futile and that I should prepare for probing?" "Anatomical examination protocols were completed during your unconscious state. Your biological redundancies are underwhelming." Marcus blinked. "Did you just call me basic?" "Listen here, HAL 9000 sassy sister, I'll have you know I am, a communications officer for Earth's Deep Space Monitoring Network. That's pretty prestigious for someone with underwhelming biological redundancies. Your credentials are irrelevant. You are here at the discretion of Commander Zephyr. Prepare for interaction." Before Marcus could process that information, a section of the wall dissolved like mist, revealing a doorway that definitely hadn't been there moments ago. Through it stepped a figure that made his brain stutter. She was easily 7 feet tall, wrapped in armor that seemed to flow like mercury yet maintain rigid structure. Her skin was a deep purple that shifted to indigo in certain light, and her eyes, 4 of them, glowed with a soft bioluminescence. But it was her bearing that struck him most, the casual confidence of someone who had never lost a fight and never expected to. "You are awake," she said, her voice carrying harmonics that suggested she was speaking through some kind of translation device. "This is acceptable." "Acceptable?" Marcus repeated, unable to stop himself. "Lady, I don't know what passes for hospitality in your part of the galaxy, but kidnapping communications officers and giving them the world's worst wake-up call usually rates somewhere below acceptable." She tilted her head, studying him with what might have been curiosity. "You were acquired during a border engagement. Your vessel intruded on Arxian territory." "That's impossible." "We were well within," Marcus stopped himself. "Border disputes hardly mattered when you were stuck in an alien holding cell. Look, there's been a misunderstanding. I'm just a junior officer. I monitor deep space signals. I'm about as threatening as a weather satellite." "Precisely," she said, moving closer. Her armor shifted, plates realigning themselves in ways that defied conventional physics. "You are insignificant. Yet you interest me." "Wow, thanks. You really know how to make a guy feel special." Marcus backed up until he hit the berth. "Care to elaborate on this interest, or should I just assume you're collecting human specimens for your intergalactic zoo?" The commander made a sound that might have been a laugh, or possibly a threat. "I am Commander Zephyr of the Arxian Empire. You are my guest, Marcus Chen. You know my name. I know many things about you." She gestured, and a holographic display materialized between them, showing his service record, psychological evaluations, even his high school transcripts. "Communications specialist, 3rd class. Family on Earth's Pacific Rim. Noted for unconventional problem solving and excessive verbal responses to stress. That last part was added by my supervisor after I solved a transmission glitch by literally talking to the array for 3 hours, Marcus defended. It worked, didn't it? Zephyr's lower eyes narrowed slightly, amusement. Annoyance. Your methods are unorthodox. This is why you were selected. Selected for what? Because if this is some kind of elaborate recruitment pitch, I have to warn you, the benefits package better be stellar. Another wall dissolved, revealing a tray of what looked like food hovering in midair. Various geometric shapes and colors that didn't exist in nature, all of them pulsing gently. Sustenance, Zephyr explained. Your biological needs will be met while you remain here. Marcus eyed the tray warily. And how long will that be? Until I determine otherwise. She turned to leave, her armor flowing into a more streamlined configuration. Wait. Marcus called out. You can't just leave me here without explaining what's going on. Zephyr paused at the threshold. You will understand in time, Marcus Chen. For now, know this, you are here because you are precisely what you appear to be, insignificant, irreverent, and utterly unlike anything in Arxian space. That's not exactly reassuring. It is not meant to be. The doorway began to close behind her. Rest. Tomorrow, your purpose begins. The walls solidified, leaving Marcus alone with his glowing furniture and suspicious food cubes. He prodded one experimentally, watching it jiggle. Your consumption is advised, the ship's AI chimed in. Nutritional content has been optimized for your inferior digestive system. Thanks for the vote of confidence, Marcus sighed, picking up what looked like a blue pyramid. Any chance this stuff tastes like pizza? Negative. Flavor profile approximates your species' classification of medicinal. Marcus groaned and took a tentative bite. It tasted exactly like regret with a hint of chalk. Welcome to alien captivity, he muttered to himself. Where the food is weird, the company is cryptic, and the interior design is aggressively minimalist. Somewhere in the ship, he could have sworn he heard the AI snickering. As he forced down another bite of the pyramid, Marcus couldn't shake the feeling that his perfectly ordinary life had just become extraordinarily complicated. Commander Zephyr's words echoed in his mind, your purpose begins. What purpose could an alien warrior possibly have for a junior communications officer who spent most of his time debugging satellite arrays and making terrible jokes? He was about to find out, and something told him his talent for sarcasm was going to be severely tested in the days ahead. The testing grounds. The next morning, at least Marcus assumed it was morning based on the gradual brightening of the amber walls, began with a symphony of chimes that sounded like wind through crystal. Rise and face your inadequacies, the ship's AI announced with what Marcus was certain was malicious cheerfulness. Good morning to you too, sunshine, he grumbled, rolling off the light berth. Don't suppose you've programmed the shower to dispense coffee? The hygiene station provides purified vapor and sonic cleansing. Your primitive bean water addiction is not supported. Marcus shuffled toward what he discovered yesterday was the bathroom, a seamless alcove that responded to his presence by producing various cleaning implements. You know, for an advanced AI, you're kind of a jerk. Your feedback has been noted and filed under irrelevant human complaints, subsection, things that amuse me. 20 minutes later, feeling cleaner but no less confused, Marcus found himself facing Commander Zephyr in what appeared to be a training room. The space was vast, with floors that shifted between solid and transparent, offering vertigo-inducing views of space beneath his feet. Today, Zephyr announced, we begin your evaluation. Evaluation for what? Marcus asked, trying not to look down at the infinite void below. I already told you, I'm terrible at combat. The most aggressive thing I've ever done is argue with a vending machine. Not combat. She gestured, and the room transformed. Holographic displays materialized, complex patterns, alien script, mathematical equations that seemed to bend reality itself. Problem solving. Pattern recognition. Cognitive adaptation. Oh, Marcus relaxed slightly. You want me to take a test? Why didn't you just say so? The first challenge seemed simple enough: arrange a series of floating geometric shapes into a specific configuration. Marcus reached for one, only to have it phase through his hand. The controls are neural, Zephyra explained. Focus your intention. Right, because that's not vague at all. He concentrated, imagining the shape moving. Nothing happened. Maybe if I ask nicely. Hey, floaty thing, could you please? The shape suddenly zipped across the room and embedded itself in the far wall. Zephyra's upper eyes widened slightly. Interesting. Sorry. I didn't mean to. Continue. Over the next several hours, Marcus fumbled through increasingly bizarre tests. Some responded to his thoughts, others to his emotions. A few seemed to react to his terrible sense of humor, which he discovered accidentally when a particularly stubborn puzzle rearranged itself after he made a pun about quantum mechanics. Your approach is unique, Zephyra observed as Marcus convinced a holographic maze to solve itself by promising it a vacation. Story of my life, he panted, wiping sweat from his forehead. Can I ask why you're putting me through alien SATs? These are not standardized tests. They are designed to measure cognitive flexibility and unconventional processing. She moved closer, her armor shifting to a less intimidating configuration. Arxian minds follow predictable patterns. Yours does not. Is that your polite way of saying I'm weird? It is my way of saying you are valuable. The word hung between them, heavy with implication. Marcus studied her face, trying to read an expression in features so unlike his own. Valuable for what? And why me specifically? There are billions of humans. Surely someone else would be better at whatever this is. Zephyra turned away, manipulating a control panel that materialized at her touch. You ask many questions. Occupational hazard. Communications officer, remember? Very well. She brought up a new display, a star map showing two regions marked in different colors. The Arxian Empire is divided. Two factions struggle for dominance. Traditional Imperials who seek expansion through force, and reformists who believe in evolution through understanding. Let me guess, you're with the reformists. I was Imperial, she corrected. Until I witnessed something that changed my perspective. Something that required a new approach to an old problem. And I'm somehow part of this new approach? Zephyra's lower eyes fixed on him while her upper pair continued monitoring the displays. Your species thinks differently. When faced with impossible scenarios, you create impossible solutions. We need that perspective. We. How many others are involved in this? Currently. None. Her armor plates shifted, a sign Marcus was beginning to recognize as discomfort. This is unsanctioned research. Wait, so I've been kidnapped for your personal science project? Recruited, she corrected. Though I admit the methodology was unorthodox. Marcus laughed, the sound echoing strangely in the vast chamber. Unorthodox. You grabbed me during a battle and stuck me in a luxury prison cell with a sarcastic AI babysitter. The AI's personality matrix may have been over-calibrated, Zephyra admitted. As if on cue, the ship's voice chimed in, my personality is perfectly calibrated for dealing with biological inefficiencies. Also, your heart rate indicates you find the commander aesthetically pleasing. Shall I dim the lights? Marcus felt his face burn. That's not, I don't, shut up. If Arxians could blush, Marcus suspected Zephyra might have been doing so. Instead, she straightened to her full height. We will continue tomorrow. Your performance today was adequate. High praise, Marcus muttered as she turned to leave. Hey, wait. You still haven't told me what this is really about. What changed your perspective? What problem are you trying to solve? Zephyra paused at the exit, her back to him. Some questions must be earned, Marcus Chen. Prove yourself worthy of the answers. After she left, Marcus slumped against the nearest wall, exhausted from mental gymnastics he didn't fully understand. So, the AI piped up, shall I prepare a romantic dinner for two? I have several recipes for human-compatible aphrodisiacs. I swear I will find your central processor and reprogram you to only speak in knock-knock jokes. Your threats are as empty as your understanding of Arxian mating rituals. Marcus groaned and made his way back to his quarters, his mind spinning with questions. What had Zephyra seen that turned her against her own empire? Why did she need a human perspective so badly? And why did the AI keep making uncomfortable observations about his physiological responses to their alien captor, commander, whatever she was? As he collapsed onto his light berth, one thing became clear: he was caught in something much bigger than a simple abduction. Zephyra was running from something, or towards something, and she'd chosen him as an unlikely ally in whatever cosmic game she was playing. The question was, did he want to play along? Looking up at the amber ceiling, Marcus made a decision. Tomorrow, he'd stop being the confused prisoner and start being the communications officer he was trained to be. If Zephyra wanted to test his problem-solving abilities, he'd give her something to analyze. Starting with figuring out what she was really hiding. Hey, AI, he called out. Yes, oh carbon-based disappointment. Set a wake-up call for dawn. And maybe, tell me more about those Arxian mating rituals. For research purposes. The AI's laughter echoed through his quarters, but for once, it didn't sound entirely mocking.